What is up, guys? Claymore was just released, chapter 151, and so here I am to do my review and discussion on the whole chapter. You guys know I've read quite a few manga out there, and Claymore is one of those that is on the top. The only thing I've ever had a problem with Claymore is the fact that some of the transformations are just so grotesque and disgusting, especially because they employ human like components to their face. I was going to say humanistic, but I don't know if that's a word. Anyhow, here's my review about Claymore because definitely one of my top manga. Again, the whole concept is somewhat gruesome. Them having to sort of impair themselves in order to achieve their forms. Regardless, though, absolutely one of my favorite mangas because of just the plot line, all the characters, the whole idea, the constant controversy, the sudden realization and nuances of what seems to be some sort of secret society. The whole it's almost like Inception. It's like, holy crap, what the heck is going on? Um, I like the world you knew isn't the actual world that exists. The whole thing is literally like the Matrix in certain ways. And I hope I didn't spoil anything there. But most of you guys who have watched Claymore or read up till this point probably wouldn't be spoiled by this, nor would you be watching this video if you were. So without further ado, let's get started with the whole thing. So I read the chapter already. Amazing chapter, honestly. Again, I'm gonna throw out the spoiler alert. First off, I knew that there had to have been something. Okay, honestly, I didn't know, but what I wanted was for Claire to have gotten some sort of power boost for being peculiar in the sense that she was only a quarter Yuma, and this was something that I personally think was needed. I like it from that moment when Claire had an arm fused onto hers that was not her own. I was like, okay, Claire's one of the main characters. In fact, she is the main character in certain ways. So should she not be some sort of like the strongest character? And I feel like whether it's because I've read a lot of manga already, or stories already, or books already, or watched a lot of films, I always have this feeling that the main character will become the strongest and will do so through some sort of unique method that only the main character will be able to stumble across, and therefore no one will be able to duplicate. And whether it's not just the fact that I have this feeling, it's because it's sort of been represented already in multiple storylines. Again, I'm not going to name names for the fear of spoiling it for anyone who hasn't read certain manga, but oh, what the heck. I'm just going to throw out a title, Bleach. That's it. I'm not going to spoil anymore. But you get the point. Like, main characters end up having to, whether purposefully or accidentally, stumbling across unique methods of powering up themselves that other characters are unable to replicate, and thus they end up being the strongest characters. So that moment when Claire gets that quick sword on, I'm like, okay, this is something that's unique that other people can't just up and replicate. They can't just up and find a new arm that's spent years honing that particular skill and then just grafting it onto themselves. Like, that's something hard to come by. So I'm like, okay, Claire's something special. She's one of her kind in the fact that she's quarter Yuma, and now she's got this Frankenstein effect where she's got one arm on her, and that she's probably going to get more stuff, and she did. She now has all the memories and experiences of that other twin. So that's quite amazing because those twins are like one of the strongest in the series. So enough rambling. Let's get on to the actual chapter. Personally, I felt the chapter was initially pretty slow with the whole alternate dimension / in Claire's head where Teresa, who has awakened, I'm so glad that she's come back in the series. Wasn't expecting it that way, but so glad it's happened. That whole thing where they're talking is a little bit too much. And then we get to this point where literally you see what's going on. And as far as I know, we are now facing the two strongest characters in the series as of so far. Again, we have those dragon dudes who partake in the fights outside of this island, but again, we don't know how strong they are. By the way, again, a small tangent once again, that whole WTF moment when it's like, yeah, your whole existence, the whole land that you live is all just a sham. It's all this sort of Truman Show effect where what you thought you lived in isn't actually the true existence. Your whole life is sort of has been orchestrated in order for some sort of other goal to be achieved. Sort of like the Matrix. And again, spoiler alert if you guys don't already know, but that's what literally happened. They were in some sort of freaking small atmosphere, and I'm not going to summarize because you guys already know what's going on. And I just applauded that because I didn't see that coming, and that was just amazing. Whereas versus something like Attack on Titan, spoiler alert again, but this is my theory, I think it's the same exact thing, but they've sort of overplayed it so long that if it does get revealed that this is what's going on, then it's sort of like we were all expecting it at this point. So let me move a little closer to the camera and continue with the review. So now we got the strongest characters of the series, Teresa of the Faint Smile, who, in my opinion, lost already because whether or not it was a sneak attack, a warrior should be prepared for everything. And so a sneak attack is in effect fair game. So I feel like Teresa of the Faint Smile already lost from before. But regardless, we have these two people fighting. And here's the thing. This demon is now stronger than ever, having absorbed high-level class Yoma. Very high-level class Yoma. Former number ones were absorbed. So this is not the same person. This is not nowhere close to the same person as before. However, though, what we find in this chapter is that, and you guys already know this, those absorbed still have their own free will. And at least Cassandra, the former number one, was able to break free. Teresa somehow noticed this. I don't know if Teresa powered up herself. I feel like she had to have in order to combat this person, but who knows. Anyhow, she recognizes this, calls out Cassandra. Cassandra's like, okay, you called me out, let's do it. She rips out of this girl, and literally they start fighting one-on-one. As for why everyone else just let them one-on-one fight, I thought that was a stupid move because literally, like, the best case scenario for Teresa is to kill them all off one-on-one so that she doesn't have to fight them all together. Granted, though, Teresa's acting pretty much like she can take them all on all together, like her versus everyone. So she's acting pretty cocky, and as of so far, it seems like she's able to. She literally takes out Cassandra pretty darn quickly. But again, once more, all the applause to that whole Leviathan. I don't even want to call it a person. That was Cassandra and all the other Yuma who were sort of grafted and fused together. Like literally, that in effect was probably the strongest beast that ever existed. Again, one can argue about that, but you get the point. And so the whole fight was literally just amazing. I found it strange that Cassandra didn't really use the sort of the ground technique where her face was, she was like, she faces the earth and she's literally like an inch away from the earth. When she fought Teresa, she used different movements that were pretty far away from the ground, which was kind of strange, but whatever. Anyhow, so they continue fighting and she wins. Spoiler alert, she wins. She beats Cassandra pretty darn quickly, in fact, which is quite amazing. Although Cassandra does, in fact, give up, at least from my perspective, she gives up early. Almost like two experienced masters are so adept at their skill that they can immediately tell very early on who's won or lost the battle before it's really gone on their way sometimes, when someone really truly has the advantage. And so what we have here is it's really quite amazing. Like the chapter pretty much ends with the final fight, and I'm excited to see what happens after this fight ends. How is it going to end? Most likely it's either going to be Teresa winning or them both being injured. Who cares? Regardless though, I'm very interested to see how it will progress from here, because I've already gotten into sync as to what the author is like. And what the author is like is that he always likes to one-up the current power levels, the strongest power levels, which I thoroughly enjoy. Otherwise, I would get stale and bored. And so, having just finished the fight, or we will, in the next chapter, or the next two chapters, finish the fight between probably two of the strongest, if not the strongest, characters introduced in the series. Where will we go from here? Will Claire assume the throne of strongest, or will Teresa just fade into oblivion and Claire will resume her meager, mediocre strength? And where will we go from there? Like, the author, based on my sense of his wavelength, will introduce new characters or new plots with even stronger characters, which I will thoroughly love. That's what kept me entertained in Yu Yu Hakusho and other series, Bleach as well. So I thoroughly want to see what's going to happen in the future, and I am anticipating that the dragon that was freed by, I believe it was Claire, will end up posing a even greater danger, which will sort of be like, got you. You thought you were doing all this good, freeing the dragons from torture. Well, you realize that these dragons they're not good guys. They're in fact even stronger than any sort of Yuma that have yet to be experienced. So that's interesting in itself, and we'll see where it goes from here. Again, the power levels so far are so obnoxiously strong. Yet at the same time, from a macroscopic view, same thing with a lot of manga. It's like you go on and on about how strong these characters are, and yet in reality, when you look at it, it's like they're not blowing up planets or anything. They're not like blowing up even continents. They've yet to even get to a nuclear level, let alone a planetary or intergalactic level where they can blow up planets. So they're not really that strong, but like they are. So it's very interesting how you, as long as you keep, one-upping yourself, it still looks quite amazing. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. And as always, like, favorite, comment, and share this video with someone you think would enjoy it. And as always, subscribe. I think the most important thing, if you guys want to help me out, is share this video in places where you think I will get more subscribers, because I feel like growth is most important to me. And as much as I do love entertaining the 20 or 30 people that always watch my videos, who I very much enjoy, I definitely would very much enjoy expanding my audience, which doesn't seem to be happening for whatever reason. So let let people know about my channel, whether through Facebook or just sharing the link. That's all I want to say, and as always, like, favorite, share, comment, and subscribe. See you later. Thanks for watching.